There's a lot of questions on the call. You want us to jump on the question first? Why are you looking for that? You want to start answering the question now?
Uh, yeah, I think I might have it. So
Okay.
let me try. And okay.
There we go.
Oh, you can see it?
Yeah, we can see it, yeah.
Okay, and so this is one of my old professors, Dr. De Longoria, and we're at Sag Harbor, which it's called the Hamptons in Long Island, New York. It's called Sag Harbor, and this is one of the first established Black beaches in America. And we're just having like a chat about the beach. And so I'm going to fast forward, see to the 1 minute mark. Let me see here. Go back.
And Eastville is really where you found Black folks living, immigrants.
Okay, is there an echo? Can everyone hear? Or?
I can hear it. I don't know if anyone can hear it.
Yeah, I did that with my students, so okay.
I can hear it. That's not an issue.
Yeah, I can hear as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Eastville is really where you found Black folks living, immigrants, and Native Americans. That was the community that they were. And Jimmy Harris had these cottages there, and he's from Brooklyn. So a lot of his friends from Brooklyn would come out and rent cottages and stay. All this area was woods. And they would come from the cottages and through the path and down to the beach, and they would fish. Because I think you got a picture of our logo, right?
Yes.
The man in the boat. And that logo was taken after a man, I think they used to call him Old Man Shipping, if I remember correctly. And so they created that image based on him. And it was this place that you came as you rest, right?
Oh, wow.
And so that was his whole idea about having this place here and this community. And it's a community that's really grown. I spent my summers coming out here. I lived out here all year round at one point also, but that was when I was a little older. Folks from the city used to get sent down south, right?
Yeah,
when summer came. So school came out, you went down south to grandmama and them or whoever, right?
Exactly, yes.
There's a group of us that got sent out here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, so we would stay here. We would go to camp out here. We learned how to swim out here. There's another beach down there that's called Havens Beach, and that is the local community beach for the whole village. And they used to have swimming lessons down there. The Red Cross used to give free swimming lessons. So we would that's what our summer looked like, right?
Yes.
We go to swimming lessons, we go to camp in the morning, we come home, have lunch, and then we were down here.
Yeah, and I can see everybody still partying and
yes.
still a lot of fun here.
There's a lot of people. Yeah, this is what I call my happy place, you know?
Wow. Okay, so that's just a piece from Black Beaches. And again, it's gonna be continue to, work on these pieces. And because I'm not, don't have all these grants and funding and all that stuff, I hope at some point that happens. I'm gonna be continue to move forward, whether that comes or not. I got the camera, I'm gonna continue filming, editing, but these things cost, thousands of dollars to create a full piece. But I'm like, hey, if I can create a documentary where, I was able to, I didn't really speak to the doc itself, but the first documentary, DNA, and again, you heard the backstory. It won, again, Best Documentary at Black Star in Ghana. It was my first trip to the continent of Africa, and was able to go to the slave castles, as we call the slave dungeons, and film. The documentary also was in the Pan-African, I can't say it in French, but it's the Pan-African International Festival in Cannes, in France. It was also nominated at the Newark International Film Festival, nominated for Best Documentary, nominated in San Diego Black Film Festival, the African World Festival. I screened it at the American Society, the American Name Society. And so they had me screen it because no one really had a film that, because when you go to these lectures, these conferences, it's mostly people who've written books or published and stuff like that, but no one's had a film. And so people were interested in bringing me in to speak on that. And so I spoke at the Names and Reconstructions Conference at University in Finland. And a conference is at Oxford University in England. I think it was like a social sciences type of collaboration, and I was able to screen the film and give a presentation. Also the Carib Center, anyone who's familiar with Akala in Saturday school, that they would have to learn about African history and culture in London at the Carib Center. And so I was able to screen my film there. And, you know, have articles written as well as different interviewed on radio stations here, stations that I listen to like WBAI, like this station that talks a lot about history and culture and current events. And, it was great. And this is without budget, this is without anything. So I know that, if I get funded, I'll have some pretty cool projects. I'm gonna bring up now this brother by the name of Baba Heru. And Baba Heru, if anyone's familiar with a person by the name of Queen Afua, she's written a book about holistic health and, been at the forefront of that. Like we hear Dr. Sabi all the time, but Queen Afua. And Queen Afua used to be married to a brother by the name of Baba Heru. Baba Heru, we can argue and say, for those who know what the Ankh is, the Ankh, and you see a lot of Black people with Ankhs over the past 20 years or so, could say he's solely responsible for that. You see a lot of people who wear jewelry like this artist by the name of Erica Badu, and a lot of artists like that, singers and stuff who have elaborate African type jewelry. Baba Heru out of New York is responsible for that. And he follows the Kemetic tradition. So this is one of the pieces of Our God is Black, and I'll pop that on here. And everyone can see that.
Rolling. Camera 2 rolling.
Camera 3 rolling.
Can everyone hear that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Audio rolling.
Rolling.
Camera 3 rolling. Audio rolling. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Greetings, Baba Heru.
Yes, sir.
All right. So I want to start off this documentary. The documentary is called Our God is Black. And I just want you to give some general knowledge in regards to your understanding of the ancient Kemetic rites and rituals and spiritual systems. And so I'll first start out just asking you, what is your full name and title?
Okay. Well, my full name is Heru Ankh Ra Samash Sepata. Sepata means son of Ptah. Many people know me, they call me Baba Heru, B-A-A-B-A Heru. The young folks know me as the Ankh Man, because thus I came to bring this to our consciousness once again. Yes, sir.
Okay, and what exactly does the Ankh represent?
Well, the Ankh is a word in our ancient Metu-Neter language, so-called hieroglyphic language for life, eternal, everlasting, and never ending. It incorporates the divine womb of the feminine mother, the divine child, and the divine father. So we have the Holy Mother, Holy Father, and Holy Child. Our mother had not yet been made into a ghost by Western culture.
Wow. Yeah, because I was going to pose a question a little bit away from the questions I have here. It looks very familiar, similar to the cross that they say Jesus was buried on.
Yes.
Well, not buried on, but nailed to.
Yes.
So why is it similar?
Well, because this.
Okay, it seems to be freezing up.
Again, the early Africans of the Nile, they were the ones who formulated the language, first of all. Their language is the oldest for which we have records in stone and on papyrus. Now, when the early Christians when Rome adopted Christianity in order to control it for political reasons, being a patriarchal culture, they couldn't have the feminine principle be on the top.
Okay, okay.
So that she was dethroned.
Wow, okay.
And they substituted another little.
Okay. So what? So that's just a brief part of that. Again, Baba Haru, and I think he was telling me a story. If anyone's familiar with Dr. Ben Yakinen, of how Dr. Ben, talked about, when he was talking about the Ankh and bringing Ankh, and I don't know. He talks about a discussion that he had with Dr. Ben about the Kemetic spiritual system and different elements, but. I left out something very important in regards to the film. If anyone's familiar with there was a sitcom that used to come on in the 70s and early 80s called Good Times. So the centerpiece of Our God is Black is going to be centered around, if everything works out for me, the characters of Michael and JJ, and just that scene. JJ was an artist in this show called Good Times. It was a poor Black family in Chicago, and they were always struggling and stuff, and represented what went on in the 70s in regards to the struggles of Blacks, as far as gangs, stuff like that, but they maintained a great nuclear family through all the adversity. One day, JJ paints a painting of some guy named Ned the Rhino, but it's a painting of Jesus Black. He puts the Black Jesus on the wall, and the mother has a huge problem with it because it's an image of Black Jesus, not the white version of Jesus that we see. And that's put all over the world, that, and so it opened a discussion and dialogue, and I'll never forget that. And so I spoke with Bernadette Stannis, and email, her manager, and she played Thelma in Good Times, and Ralph Carter spoke to the people. Everything is a go. It's just really a funding thing. We'll see, but that's gonna be the centerpiece of it, because through my conscience, that was the first time I ever heard of anything like that or seen that. And so as a kid, and for a lot of Black people, just like Roots, there's a movie here called Roots, if you're not familiar, and it was for the first time Black people had seen slavery, which again, I show a film called Goodbye Uncle Tom, which makes Roots look like a Disney movie, okay? So, but not to go there, but we've never really seen these things and had these discussions. Now, elders have had these discussions in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and Noble Drew Ali and D.W. Fard and, Honorable Elijah, these discussions have been going on. Mary Baraka, we can go on and on. Now, in my age group, I'm 50, for me being a kid, I didn't understand what that was about, but now I do. And it was the first time I saw the image of God being Black. And so that has to be the centerpiece of my thing. And so I said, even if I can't, funding don't work out, I can't get them per se, I'll figure out a way to use just brief snippets of it for the piece. And so let me again hop off of here, and I'll put a new share. And then this last piece, trying to working this thing out, and then we can go to the questions. Anyone see that?
Yes.
Please welcome Kavan Ward, who literally has been raising the issue of Bruce's Beach for a while now, and started Justice for Bruce's Beach. And it was people like me who finally got it. And thank you for being way ahead of us on this one. Please welcome Kavan Ward.
Justice for Bruce's Beach. Thank you to the movement, to the people. Thank you. Power to the people. As Alicia Garza so eloquently states in her book, The Purpose of Power, Movements do not have official moments when they start and end. And there's never just one person who initiates them. Movements are like waves, like the waves crashing against the shore here in Manhattan Beach. They ebb and flow, they are perpetual, their direction dependent upon the conditions that surround them and the barriers that obstruct them. We inherit movements. I inherited this movement on Juneteenth of 2020 when I realized that the history on that plaque was inaccurate and incomplete. And while my initial thought was to have the plaque demolished, death to that big slab of concrete, source moved me to demand that the land be given back to the Bruce family. I have to give recognition to the chief. He's been researching and seeking justice silently, sharpening his irons since before they renamed the park Bruce's Beach. And as I play my part in this movement, my ancestors, they travel with me. They speak through me as I chant justice for Bruce's Beach. And like Willa Bruce, I am protected by the Most High. So your death threats, your intimidations, and your dog whistles, they won't silence me. Now is the time for reckoning. Reparative justice is what we seek. Apologize, make amends, pay restitution to the Bruce family. Manhattan Beach restoration and reconciliation is not the sole responsibility of LA County. But thank you, Supervisor Hahn and Senator Bradford, for taking accountability and for positioning yourselves on the right side of history. Thank you for being waves in this movement with me as we are on the precipice. We, the movement, is on the precipice of making history. Thank you, everybody.
Let the people say amen. Amen. Okay, was that like the best press conference you all have ever come to?
All right, so I was very honored and lucky enough to, when I set up these interviews with Kavan Ward and Dr. Allison Jefferson, and anything that's been done on Bruce Beach, you see them talk to them or one of the Bruces. And I was lucky enough to be there to get all this footage. So I know this is not on the subject of reconnecting to the continent, but just to show some of the projects that I'm working on and, and trying to, move, the bar forward on all of these topics through film. Thank you, Marcy. I'll tell Marcy, thank you. But yeah, that's pretty much the projects. And I think that us understanding the importance of, the liberation of freedom and what's going on with, this so-called racism, white supremacy here in Africa, all of these things we need to be concerned about what's going on the continent here, and not to dismiss the Caribbean, but because the discussion is about the bridge of African and African Americans. And so, again, I haven't started footage with the African athletes in America in regards to what I talked about earlier. I do think that it's still a discussion that needs to be had in regards to, how do we come together for future generations? Even with the struggles that are going on now, what is it that we can do, consciously? Some of the, the ideas. And so, again, that's where my film DNA is rooted in, dual citizenship and the idea of connecting with the diaspora. And that's only going to come through conversations, through reading, and through, films. What I didn't do, and what I said I was going to do, is show a snippet from the film. I did everything but the main thing, right? So if anyone has any questions, and I guess we could later, I could show that. I'm only going to show, again, 2 minutes of it, of the film. But if anyone had like questions or anything in regards to that, and then I could show just 2 minutes of the film DNA.
Okay, thanks a lot for everything. Honestly, that's a lot of information, a lot of reconnection information you just provide over there.